Madeline, oh,
Okay, so we're gonna start. Heather, if you can just give us a brief description of what you're gonna be presenting today.
sure. Okay, so my case isn't about a client, as I'm sure you guys have read. It's more about the other interns that we work with at Pathways. So Emma, she is a 24-year-old part-time UB student, social work student. She works full-time at Roswell as a social worker. um, she said that social work was her, like that's what she was labeled, but I guess like it's not going to be like a full thing until she gets her degree. But anyway, so she lives with two roommates that she gets along with, but she's not, extremely close to. She doesn't confide in them. She's also an artist. When she first started Pathways, she was amazing. She like lit up the room whenever she walked in. And she was always like, she had some sort of crazy story about, you know, like the chick at Tim Hortons spilled coffee all over her, or like somebody just bumped her in the parking lot, or she tripped coming in and whipped cream fell on her head, or whatever. It was always something silly. Um, she had a great personality. She was, she like lit up the room whenever she walked in, like I said. And now she honestly looks like um, she has, she's a victim of abuse. She has lost all of her shine, all of her personality. She's extremely withdrawn. She only talks to us when the Pathways staff is not around and when the Damon interns are not around. She dresses differently before. On Saturdays, it's always like a dress down day. So we either come in our yoga pants, jeans, sweatshirts, sneakers, and she always is dressed in her work attire now because she got yelled at for wearing what we all wear on Saturdays. She said since January, she has been like pretty much a punching bag for the Pathways supervisor because the supervisor believes that she ratted her out. I don't know, she doesn't even know what that entails. She's like, I don't even know what I was supposed to tell on her for. At that time, we had all started complaining to the field placement office. Um, None of us did it confidentially, so I don't know why it all came down on her. But she, like I said in the thing, she doesn't eat with the rest of us. She stays in a cubicle. She will talk to us when we go and talk to her in the cubicle, but she's very soft spoken. Before she would, come in boisterous, and she was a force. She's also forced to do things that the rest of us are not even asked to do. None of us have ever had to rewrite our reports that we do. None of us have ever been told that our notes are insufficient, but she follows what we do and she gets in trouble for it. We've all heard the way that she is spoken to by the pathway supervisor, and we have all spoken up. The other interns have gotten it too, but not as badly. She like 2 weeks ago, um, Emma said, what time are we leaving tonight? And she like bit her head off and said, when I say you can leave. um, and I asked her like 10 minutes before then, she said, oh, probably about 8:30, 8:45. But Emma wasn't in the room. She was in her cubicle, so she did not know. After, let's see here. Oh, and then the workshop, the training that we all have to do for the clients of Pathways. We could either group up or do it on our own. And most of us had grouped up, but she had had one for autism that because she had taken a couple classes. She had worked with autistic children, and there's actually a couple autistic children that is in foster care, and that foster care is part of Pathways, like one of their sections. It's not just supervised visits. So she thought it would be great for these parents to be able to attend this, and get like tips and tricks and more information that maybe they hadn't had. So anyway, when she presented it, and it was great, we all looked at it and we thought it was fantastic. The program manager told her that that's not what they're looking for, and put her in with a Damon person who is doing depression. We were all like, what? That makes no sense. So all of that hard work was for nothing. So anyway, I've spoken to her many times about doing something. I've spoken to Mike Lynch about the place, and numerous times we've spoken. She has begged me every time, please do not give her name. Please do not do anything, actually, is what she asked me the last time, because she's afraid that she will be the one to be retaliated against, and there's real fear in her eyes. She has tried talking to the field liaison, who they told her to talk to in the beginning, but this field liaison is, for one, in Florida, so it's she's not readily available. You have to like schedule like weeks in advance to be able to talk to this woman. But she is friends with the Pathways manager. So that's basically nothing. Like, you can't go anywhere with her. So yeah, what I'm looking for is some sort of advice. She doesn't want me to advocate for her, but she is not advocating for herself. And I'm just so afraid, like, this has like ruined her. Like I said before, when she came in, she had such a fire, and it just seems like that's been put out. And I am so worried that this is going to affect her, the rest of her career somehow. So I'm just looking for any advice.
Okay, got it. So we're going to be moving into the questions phase, the solution focused questions phase. So we're going to start with Maddie, Jennifer, and then Maggie. Is that okay? All right.
Heather, what are your best hopes for the consultation?
That you guys will have ideas on how to help her. I have, like I've said, I've tried mentioning different things to her. And each time I'm met with, please don't say anything. And I want to abide by her wishes, but I also don't see anything changing unless, and I'm also thinking about like next semester, or when the next batch of UB people start, who's her next victim, I guess. So that's basically my best. I'd love for some ideas, some advice.
What are your best hopes for Emma in this situation?
If she comes out of this, okay. Like I said earlier, I am so scared that this is going to affect her. I would like to think that, in a month and a half, when we're done with field placement, she'll go back to normal. But all of us know that, if you have been through an abusive situation, that it doesn't just happen like that. And I don't know what is out there for her to, she won't talk to the field placement office. So I don't know what my options are with her, I guess. So
suppose that
out of it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Suppose that those best hopes are realized. What do you think will be different?
that that she'll be happy again, that she will be her regular self, that this did not ruin her love and zest and, for all things social work.
What else do you think will be different?
That she will find her voice, that she will be able to advocate for herself, that she will, maybe knowing that all of, us are behind her, that she would, have that strength back again.
What do you think she'll notice?
That she would be more engaged. She will, you know, be more involved in what we're doing. I think if she was like with us more, she might feel a little stronger. She might feel like we're all in her corner. I know she knows it, but I think, there's always power in numbers, I guess. I don't know.
What do you think others involved in the situation will notice after Beth's hopes are realized?
That she's back, that this place has not ruined her, that this place, she'll start eating with us, joking around with us. She'll have more confidence. She'll be able to stick up for herself. If you were to meet this girl in September, you would have never thought that that's what this would be in, like she would be like this now. She's very spunky. She walked in and she was like, I'm bisexual and this and that. She'd been telling you what's up. And now she doesn't talk at all. So I think that we would notice that, she has more confidence and she's, back to the person that she was, I guess.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is meeting your goals, and 1 is like not at all, where are you now?
Probably at a 3.
Okay, and what tells you you're at a 3?
Because I have talked with Mike Lynch and I have tried to help everyone there. I have gotten her to talk to me, and we've all started like this group chat. I mean, we've always group chatted, but she feels more comfortable talking. Like we're not gonna, like maybe we weren't the ones that read it, because I think that was a part of her thing, was she didn't know who told her that or who had put the idea in the program manager's head that it was her that ratted her out in January. So she, I think, was very leery at first. But I think she trusts us a little more now. I also recently, last week, had the meeting with the program manager, and I said, hey, I have 29 and a half hours after tonight. How do you want this to play out? Because I'm not staying more than 29 and a half hours. So I can either end in 2 weeks, or we can drag this out and I can go down to like one night. And she said one night. So, because she said I have to stay there until May. So at least I got that answer, because I told them, I said, whatever she tells you guys, it has to equal what she told me. She can't let me use the 30 hours and go down to one night a week and not let everybody else use it. So,
So what tells you you're not at a 2?
Because she does know that I'm in her corner. And I know that she's appreciative. She's scared. She doesn't want to be, retaliated against anymore. So I know, like, she knows that people are trying to fight for her. So I think that would make me a 3. And the steps that I've gone to try and get some relief for her. So
Where do you want to be by the end of the academic year or by the time you leave their placement?
Out of Pathways.
Okay, I was just about to say, what number on the scale of 1 to 10 do you want to be at, Heather?
Um, I would like to be, I'd like to be at a 10. I'd like for her to, be perfect again. I mean, I know that none of us look like we did when we started. That place has affected us all. But for you to lose your light, for you to lose your sparkle, for you to, lose your confidence, and yeah, I would love for her to be at a 10, I guess.
What will be different when you're at a 4, or how will you know you're there?
So my plan for this week, and I talked to her earlier today, actually, is tomorrow night. I'm not going to be there. I'm only on there on Thursday nights now, so I'm not even there on Tuesdays to help her with this because I was taken off Tuesdays. But that she talks to the Pathways manager and says, I have this many hours, and why did you not approve my 30 when you approved Heather's? I told her she has, I would rather her do that in front of everybody so that if she comes back, because some of those people she approved and some of them she didn't, and you can't just do that. Like, you set a precedent and now you have to stick with it, which was my whole thing about going first last week. So I guess one step higher will be for her to have her end dates.
All right, okay. What are you doing that's already on track?
Well, like I said, getting her end dates. I'm also helping her with her learning contract, making sure that's done, making sure that's something that they can't say, oh, you didn't finish, so now you have to stay longer or whatever. So yeah, I'm trying to do everything that she'll let me do.
And
Yeah.
how are you being trauma informed?
Going by the 5 things, I'm sticking by her choice, but I'm abiding by her wishes to not involve Mike Lynch. Even when I offered it to just be Mike Lynch, myself, the Pathways manager, and our liaison, she still asked me not to because she was afraid, even though she was not involved, her name would not be involved. It would be me basically on fire. She was afraid it would still trickle down to her. So, I'm abiding by, her wishes and staying away from that. So,
And do you feel there's anything else you're doing that's on track?
well, I mean, I'm trying, I guess I'm trying to, by telling her, by me setting precedent last week, I think hopefully that will empower her a little more to go tomorrow night and say, uh, you haven't approved my 30 hours. Why haven't you approved my 30 hours? And also to ask, how's the 30 hours that she has left to do, 20 hours, actually, she has 20 hours that she has left, how can I finish that out? So hoping that she will go tomorrow. She said she will. And everybody, that was in the group chat is, there to back her up, and, they want answers too for the ones that she didn't actually approve the 30 hours. So we'll see.
Okay, we have about 2 more minutes here for this section.
That means Heather stopped talking.
So what is Emma doing that is already on track?
She shows up every week. Every shift she's supposed to be there, she shows up.
What else is she doing that's on track?
She does what is asked of her, even though it's stuff that we don't have to do. She does it. She, you know, yeah, just by showing up and doing what she's supposed to be doing. To not rock the boat, I guess.
What's the next small step?
Getting her end date solidified, I think, is the next small step tomorrow night.
And how's that going to be helpful?
Well, I know when I got mine last week, it was a huge weight off my shoulders. I honestly, there was like a little pep in my step. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I think that she will feel that way too. Knowing that, at least she better be able to claim those 30 COVID hours, and that way she won't have that many hours left.
Okay, so Heather, if you can turn your camera off and turn your sound off, we're gonna move into the wonderment phase. And we'll just go in the same order. So we have about 5 minutes.
I wonder if Heather has participated in those like restorative circles virtually that the field office has been offering. I think that's what they're called.
Oh, was that me? Or Jennifer?
Oh, me. I'm sorry. I wonder if there's a trusted professor she could talk to.
I wonder if Heather has brought this up in the field seminar class. I have found that to be a very helpful resource, and I wonder if that's been a possibility.
I wonder if Emma has other things happening in her life right now that have contributed to her loss of sparkle, for Heather's words.
I know that you can't record everything there, but I'm wondering if maybe she's thought about recording the way she's spoken to in supervision, just so that she's got something to back her up and have a foot to stand on, because someone's talking to you that way, you're certainly going to need to prove it. And so I just wonder if maybe there's something she could do in that area.
I wonder if Heather or the other interns at the placement have offered to just spend time with Emma and be a support, even if it doesn't relate to field. Sometimes we just need people who are there for us and support us.
I wonder if Heather has considered talking directly to Laura Lewis about the real problems that this placement has and trying to prevent others from being placed there.
I wonder if she's thought about maybe getting some counseling at UB, maybe talking to a counselor there and seeing what she could do for self-care and taking care of herself, because she's certainly going through a terrible situation, and I just hope she's getting some self-care.
I wonder if, sort of like what Maddie said, there's someone higher up who Heather could bring this up to as a hypothetical, sort of like it's been presented today, maybe even more de-identified information, and just present that and see how it's received and maybe get some advice in that way.
I wonder if Heather has plans to stay in touch with Emma and continue to support her beyond this placement.
I wonder why, no, like if Heather has talked to Mike Lynch, why he's not stepping in to see if there's something he can do, because even knowing that there's an uncomfortable situation there, I feel like it's their job to be looking into that in the first place. Even if she doesn't want it to go any further, I just wonder why when it was first mentioned, he didn't look further into it.
I wonder, I see how affected Heather is by this situation, and I wonder what Heather is doing to take care of herself in witnessing all of this.
I wonder if Heather can look into this from like a macro level of power dynamics. And I don't know the gender of the supervisor, but gender dynamics, age dynamics, and maybe use this as a learning experience to write about for a class or to just spread the word.
And I wonder if, you know, Emma is just trying to get through this because there's only a certain number of hours left and she doesn't want to rock the boat. But maybe after papers have been turned in and a grade has been submitted, I wonder if Emma and Heather and the other interns have considered talking to, maybe even requesting a meeting with the dean and saying, this is what's happening at Pathways. It's not okay. And all giving statements to maybe not having students placed there anymore if that's going to be the hostile environment they put forth.
I have a wonderment also. I wonder if the supervisor was reprimanded for certain things and that's why she started acting, how she's acting towards Emma. But that was our 5 minutes for the wonderment phase. So we're gonna move into the compliment phase. And we'll go in the same order. Heather, okay, I was going to say Heather, turn your camera on, so, okay.
Heather, I think you're doing a great job at just being an advocate for someone. I know that it's so tricky when they don't want to necessarily advocate for themselves, because you want to be like, let's scream it from the rooftop and like tell everybody so we can get you the help. But if she doesn't want it, I think you're doing a great job by being trauma informed and respecting her want or need to be anonymous and to not bring attention to it. So I think just, you know, be there for her for the last couple weeks, but you're doing a great job.
I'm impressed by, I know you're a mom and I see that you're taking like kind of the mom role there, which I do in many situations. And I'm really impressed that you're putting her under your wing and trying to guide her, and not letting her get pushed aside. You know, it seems like you guys are all trying to do your best there to get through this, and I think you're doing a really good job.
Wow, I think I see how you talk about this person as being very bubbly and have a spark, and now she's not. And it's interesting because you do too. You have that bubbly energy, sparky kind of personality. And when you talk about the situation, that light goes away. So I see how it's really, really affecting you. And I applaud you for putting a lot of energy into trying to figure out what to do. And I like your approach because you're not saying, I want to solve the problem, I want to fix her. You're just being there and being an advocate. And I think you're approaching it in like a really thoughtful way.
And I just want to say that I'm very impressed how vocal you're being, how you're standing up for her. You know, as social workers, we have to be advocates, and you're advocating for someone who is in the role of becoming a social worker, and that's amazing. I feel like you're being her voice because she lost her own. So, you know, and you're willing to take the heat if, you know, it does come down. So that's amazing, because a lot of people wouldn't do that for someone else. So we're gonna move on into the debriefing. Wait, does anybody else have any other compliments? No, okay. We're gonna move on to the debriefing part. So Heather, how was this for you? Like, how do you feel coming out of this?
Good. I was listening to the wonderment. I mean, thank you guys for all the nice things that you said. I brought a tear to my eye. We, just so everybody knows, Emma has said that we can, once we're done, just blow it up. We're gonna blow everybody in. Mike Lynch has tried numerous times to butt in, though Laura Lewis was also informed. And we have a voicemail recording saying, just hold on, pull your big girl pants up and just hold on. There's nothing we can do about it, basically. So, but this was extremely helpful. You know, knowing that, you know, you guys are, you know, there and listening was awesome too. So thank you.
Great. And how was it for everybody else? Like, how do you guys feel? Good?
I like that this was different than what we've done. This is our last one, guys. What? But it's so different than how we've looked at it before because Emma is not a client. Emma is a coworker. Emma is a colleague. And that's really cool that we can talk about how in the future you can advocate for someone and use your social work skills to, you know, improve the lives of people around you that you're working with. So like, thank you for bringing this, Heather, and for being very specifically different about the way that you've approached this assignment. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, this is really awesome.
Yeah, I agree with Maggie. She's like one of us, like our, you know, and so it makes me angry, like that someone's going through a situation like that. It makes me angry. Like if you need people there on your side to like fight, I'll join. Like that makes me angry. So
Especially when we're spending as much money as we are, and she's spending all this money to get abused. I can't even tell you how many times I've lost my shit there. So.
Okay, awesome. Anything else, anybody? Because it looks like we're done. We went over a little bit, but we also started a little late. So anything else? Good to go? All right, awesome. So I'm gonna end the recording.